And then remember, when using this formula, the acceleration should be constant or uniform. Okay? Acceleration should be constant or uniform. Ayan. So, okay, let's solve our first example for the day. Ayan. So a ball rolling down a hill was displaced 19.6 meters while accelerating from rest. If the final velocity was 5 meters per second, what was the rate of acceleration? Okay, so if this is the hill, ayan, yun yung hill. Yung bola daw is rolling down, ayan, and na-display siya ng 19, okay, nagkaroon siya ng displacement na 19.6 meters while accelerating from rest. So meron tayong term dito from rest. So what can we conclude about the term, the phrase from rest?
Initial velocity niya is 0.
Okay, so tama. The initial velocity is 0. Ayan. Next, nakasulat din dyan, sabi it's uniformly accelerating. So that means we can use the formulas. Kasi accelerating yan. At given din tayo, if the final velocity is 5 meters per second, what was the rate of acceleration? So what is the acceleration? Ayan. So, I have this. I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So which formula are we going to be using? Ano yung wala sa given? Walang time. Alin sa apat na yan ang walang time? Okay, walang time yung, ito ba? Tama ba?
Pang-apat.
Yung pang-apat. Okay, so therefore we'll be using V final squared is V initial squared plus 2A delta S. But V initial is 0 and V final is 5 squared. So that's equal to 2 times A times 19 point, ba't ganun? 19.6. So what is the acceleration? So divide this whole equation by 2 and 19.6. So that's 5 squared over 2 times 19.6. So the acceleration is it is 0.64 meters per second squared. Yeah. Okay? Ayan. Sayang naman yung problem natin. So, sabihin na natin letter A yan. So, letter B na lang. So, what is the time of motion? So, what is the time of the motion? Describe in the problem. Ayan. So, based dito, ano yung gagamitin natin? Assuming hindi nyo alam yung acceleration, ha? Kasi baka mamali tayo. Assuming hindi nyo muna alam ang acceleration, at kukunin natin ang time.
Yung 1, sir.
Okay, so yung number 1. Okay, so tama. So V delta X is quantity VI plus VF over 2 times T. Ayan, but V initial is 0. So let's substitute. So this is 19.6 is equal to 5 over 2 times T. So therefore, time is equal to 2 times 19.6 over 5. So T is 7.84 seconds. Tama ba ako? Tagal? 7.84 seconds. So if you're not sure, let's check O, times natin yan ng acceleration which is 0.64. Ang sagot ba ay 5? Sabagay, 5 naman. No? So, check lang natin. So, yung ito, multiply natin to, but this is 0. This is 0. Multiply natin yung time and acceleration. Tama ba? Makuha natin ng 5. So, nakuha ko is, okay, close to 5. 5.0176. So, close naman. Kaya about dito? Dito natin siya try. 7.84. So, that is 0.5 times 0.64 times 7.84 squared. 19.6. Ayan, 19.6 na. Okay, so that's our final answer. Ayan. Okay, any question on this example?
There are more example.
Yeah, So let's proceed to the next one. Ayan. Okay. A car starts from rest and accelerates uniformly to reach a speed of 21 meters per second in 7 seconds. What was the speed of the object after 2 seconds? Okay. Okay. So, ito yung kumwari, ito yung car natin. So, sabi dito, it starts from rest. So, that means we can conclude that initial velocity is 0. And then, after traveling and accelerating for 7 seconds, na time na 7 seconds, yung velocity niya naging 21 meters per second. Ang tanong ay, ano daw ang, parang napahirap ng konti yung next example natin. Anyway, ang tanong ay, at t is equal to 2 seconds, ano daw yung final velocity? Okay.
Excuse me po.
Yan.
Lang po. Bakit yung...
Kung i-consider natin ang mga given na to, ang given na time is 2 seconds, V final is unknown, but V initial is 0. Ay, yes, Kyle? Kyle, no. Hindi. Ang given kasi ay after, di ba nag-start siya, Tres? Ngayon, after 7 seconds of accelerating, ang velocity niya is 2 seconds. Ang tinatanong, parang binalik lang niya yung time. After niya mag-travel ng 2 seconds from rest, ano yung kanyang velocity? Oo. Parang binalik niya. So, di ba parang nagta-travel siya for 7 seconds. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5, 7, 6, 7 seconds. Ang tinatanong niya, yung nauna sa kanya. So, di ba nag-accelerate kasi siya uniformly? So, that means, bago niya ma-reach yung 21, ma-reach na yung 21 meters per second na velocity after 7 seconds. Ang tinatanong niya, ano yung velocity after 2 seconds? Which is before 7 seconds. Yan. Okay? Kaya, tingnan muna natin, ano ba yung information meron tayo kung i-consider natin is 2 seconds. So, meron tayong time, which is 2 seconds. Initial velocity is still 0 kasi it started at rest or from rest. And then yung final velocity at 2 seconds, yun yung tinatanong. Ngayon, ang problema natin ay meron pang dalawang quantity na wala tayong given. Yung delta x at saka acceleration. Yung delta x medyo mahirap. Mahirap natin siyang kunin. Mahirap. Ang pwede natin kunin is yung acceleration. Ngayon, ano ang acceleration? Sabi naman sa problem, it is uniformly accelerating. So that means from t is equal to 0 up to 7 seconds, the acceleration is constant. O doon natin kukunin yung acceleration. Doon sa information natin na ito. So for A, ang V initial ay 0, ang V final ay 21 meters per seconds, at ang time ay 7 seconds. So what is the acceleration? So among the 4 formulas, so which one should we be using? Okay, I think this is the third one, I think. Ayan. So that's V final is equal to V initial plus 80. So initial is 0. So V final is 21. Acceleration is unknown. And a time is 7. So therefore, A is 3 meters per second square. So this will be the acceleration we'll be using for the requirement. That acceleration is 3 meters per second square. Ayan. So anong formulang gagamitin? So we'll be using the same formula. So V final is V initial plus 80. Initial still 0. So therefore, V final is 3 times this time. Time is 2 seconds. Ayan. So V final is 6 meters per second. So this is our answer. Okay? So, sabihin na natin ang letter A yan. So, dadagdagan ko na lang para hindi sayang yung problem natin. Okay, magsusolve nito. Okay, so what is the displacement after 3 seconds? After 3 seconds. Or at t is equal to 3 seconds. What's delta x at t is equal to 3 seconds? So which formula are we going to be using? Okay, so what? So we'll still be using ano ba?
4 po.
Yung fourth. Kailangan natin ng time. Time at saka acceleration. So hinahanap natin delta displacement. So probably this one. Or this one. Okay, so I think the first one. So delta x is equal to VI plus VF over 2 times T. So that's equal to, so this is 0. So, sorry, hindi pwede. Wala tayong V final pala. So we'll be using the second one. Okay, hindi natin alam ang V final. So we'll be using delta X is equal to VIT plus 1/2 AT squared. So that's equal. So this is 0. So that's 1/2 times 3 times 3 squared. So delta X is equal to... Yes, may question?
Po ba yung 6 yung V final? Yung 6 po. 6 meter per second po. Di po ba yung V final yun?
Ang 6 meters per second, V final siya ng 2 seconds. Sinadya mo palitan yung time. So, hindi mo pwedeng gamitin yung 6 kasi ang 6 meters per second, ayun yung velocity niya after 2 seconds. Ang ni-require sa second question natin is displacement nung 3 seconds. So, pwede naman din kunin mo muna yung V final kahit hindi siya tinatanong bago mo kunin yung displacement. Nakuha mo ba yung difference? Nag-gets nyo ba yung difference ng dalawa? This is only for 2 seconds. I was asking for the third second. Yung may 3 seconds.
Apo.
Kaya hindi na sila...
Gets po.
Okay. Nag-gets ba? Mm-hmm.
Bali,
So,
sir, excuse po. Yung sa may 3 meters per second, squared lang po yung pwedeng gamitin dito, sir, di ba?
Yung acceleration.
Apo, yung acceleration
Tama.
lang po.
Tama. Kasi, uniform yung acceleration natin, so constant yung ating acceleration. Kaya, yun lang yung pwede nating gamitin. Okay, kahit tanong ko pa is 8 seconds, 9 seconds, or 5 seconds, 6 seconds, yung acceleration natin ay pareho lang. Unless mag-maintain na siya ng velocity. Pero, ayan, so between 0 second to 7 seconds, yung acceleration natin is constant or hindi siya nagbabago na nasa 3 meters per second siya. Pero as the time progresses, yung velocity nagbabago na. Okay, so may iba pa may question?
Sir.
Yes.
Di po bang pabalik po yung kaninang papel? Screenshot lang po sana po.
Yung una nating example?
Apo.
One. Okay.
Thank you po.
Sige. Ayan. Kung wala na, let's proceed to the... Actually, I will take the photo of this and then we'll send them to you later. Okay, so let's proceed to our next example. Number 3. A car traveling at 20 meters per second, when the driver sees a child standing in the road, he takes 0.8 seconds to react, then steps on the brake and slows at 7 meters per second squared. How far does the car go before it stops? Okay. Parang nabilisan lang ito, no? Wala mang 1 second. So, meron daw car. Ayan. It's initially traveling at 20 meters per second. Ayan. It's initially traveling at 20 meters per second. Then, he sees a child standing on the road. Ayan. So, he takes 0.8 seconds to react. So, ang time na nag-react siya ay 0.8 seconds. And, okay, tapos, huminto siya. Tama ba? And then, ninto siya. So, we can conclude that huminto siya, ang final velocity is 0. It stops. Okay, ang tanong ay, how far does the car go before it stops? So, what is delta x? Okay, ano yung kanyang acceleration? Ang kanyang acceleration ay 7 meters per second square. Okay, class. Meron tayong kailangan mo nang isipin dito.
Negative pa yung acceleration.
Okay. Is the car slowing down or speeding up?
Speeding down, sir.
Slowing down.
Slowing down. Slowing down.
Sorry.
Kasi inassume ko na nagta-travel siya to the right, so positive yung VI. So therefore, dapat, wag mong kakalimutan na yung acceleration dapat negative. Ayan. Kung di nyo mapapainto yan kung hindi yan negative. Ayan. Okay? At merong pampalitong item dito. Tingin nyo ano?
0.80 seconds to react.
Oo. Di ba parang yung reaction time niya, parang wala namang kinalaman doon sa motion niya, di ba? Kaya parang baka gagamitin nyo to, makalimutan ninyo. Parang feeling ko nililito tayo ng item na yan. Okay? So, yung reaction time ng person. Siguro na, kung iisipin natin, yung tao, yan hindi naman yung motion ng kotse. Okay? At kung pinaka-preno-preno niya, mag-skid pa rin naman yung kotse. Because of inertia. Ayan. Anyway. Okay, so let's not consider the time. So let's list the given. So we have the initial velocity at 20, the acceleration at -7, v final is at 0, and delta x is the unknown. So which formula are we going to use? Okay, so I think the fourth one, na yung v final squared is v initial squared plus 2a delta x. So v final is 0. So x is equal to negative vi squared over 2a. So transpose ko to and then divide ko ng 2a. So that's equal to negative v initial, that's 20 squared over 2 times -7. So what is delta x? Tama ba ako? That is 28.57 meters. Okay. So let's add something to the problem para naman hindi sayang yung problem natin. B, what is the total time of the motion? So time to stop. Okay. What is the time of the motion? So gagamitin nating formula ay yung pangatlo. Okay, yung V final, V initial plus 80. So V final is 0. So time is negative VI over A. So that's negative 20 over -7. Okay, 2.86 seconds. Ayan, 2.86 seconds. Okay, question? Okay, wala. Let's have our last example for horizontal motion. Ayan. Sasalaba yung charger ko. Ayan. So, okay. Kung wala kayong question, may question ba? So, we can proceed to this example.
Wala po.
Okay. Okay. A driver of a car going 90 kilometers per hour suddenly sees the lights of a barrier 400 meters ahead. Okay. So, if you will draw the figure, this is the car. And the car is initially moving at 90 kilometers per hour. And then he sees a barrier 40 meters ahead. So this is the car and this is the barrier. So this is 40 meters. It takes the driver 0.75 seconds before he applies the brakes. Meron po mga reaction time. Once he does begin to brake, he slows down at a rate of 10 meters per second squared. Okay, class? So that is the acceleration. So that is 10 meters per second squared. And again, is the object slowing down, speeding up? Okay, so it slows down. So that means it should be opposite the direction of the velocity. So I will make it negative. Okay. Ano ba yung question? Ba't ganon? Ano ba yung question? Ba't ganyan? Ang unang tanong ay, does he hit the barrier? Ba't hindi nakasulat? Ba't di na-print? Okay, ang question ay letter A. Letter A muna. Does he hit the barrier? Ayan. Does he hit the barrier? Okay. So, dalawa lang given natin, tatlo, pero yung 40 is just a reference. We won't be using it. Ano pa yung isa? Okay, so dapat hihinto siya, tama ba? Kasi nag-break siya. So, titingnan natin kung hihinto siya at kung huminto siya ng mahigit 40, ibig sabihin, tatamaan niya. Kung hihinto siya at yung displacement niya is less than 40, hindi niya tatamaan. Okay, so that means we will assume that B final is 0. Ayan. Kasi kailangan huminto siya. Kung hindi, ayun, mabubunggo siya doon. Okay? So, ang hanapin natin yan is yung displacement. So, kung ang displacement na makuha natin ay less than 40, which is the reference, hindi niya tatamaan yung barrier. Pero, pag huminto siya ng greater than 40, tatamaan niya yung barrier. Okay. So, parang feeling ko may sagot na kayo dahil dun sa bonus question. Okay, so kailangan natin hanapin ano ang displacement. Ayan. So, ano ang displacement? Anong formula ang gagamitin natin? Dapat yung walang time. Yung V final squared is V initial squared plus 2A delta X. But V final is 0. So delta X is equal to negative VI squared over 2A. So that's equal to negative. Wait, may problema tayo. Hindi ko kinonvert. So dapat yung V initial is i-convert natin into meters per second kasi naka-kilometers per hour siya. Okay, saan ko siya i-convert? Ito na lang. So V initial is equal to 90 kilometers per hour. So convert natin into meters per second. So for every 1 kilometer, may 1,000 meters. And for every hour, merong 3,600 seconds. So the answer is 90 times 1,000 divided by 3,600. It's 25. So 25 meters per second. Ayan. So yun yung gagamitin natin. So that's 25 meters per second squared over 2 times negative 10. So delta X is equal to 31.25 meters. Ayan. Okay, so does he hit the barrier or not?
Hindi po.
Not po.
Okay, Shane said that's not. Okay, so does not hit the barrier. Ayan. Kasi it's less than 40. Ayan. Okay? Kaya nasabi ko din kanina, kasi ito yung follow-up question, yung bonus question. What would be the maximum speed at which the car could travel and still not hit the barrier 40 meters ahead? So, in-expect na natin na hindi siya tatama. So, kaya ang sa letter B, ang tinatanong, ano ang initial velocity niya dapat na mataas, na hindi pa rin pinakamataas, na hindi pa rin siya tatama doon sa barrier? Okay, kung nawala yung given na 90 na initial velocity, so dapat meron tayong isa pang given. So hindi naman given yung time. So therefore, ang given natin is yung reference na displacement which is 40 meters. So hinahanap natin this time is yung initial velocity. Okay. So meron tayong displacement. We still have the same acceleration, I think. Yeah. It's still the same acceleration kasi wala naman sinabi na nagbago yung acceleration. We still have the same final velocity na mag-stop siya. Ayan. Wala pa rin time. So, I think we'll be using the same formula. Lumipat lang yung unknown. Mula dito, naging siyang dito. So, same formula. So, V final squared is V initial squared plus 2A delta X. So, V final still 0. Then, transpose natin yung 2A delta X. So therefore, V initial squared is equal to negative 2A delta X. So that's equal to, and V initial squared, it's negative 2 times negative 10 times 40. And then we square both sides. So what's our initial velocity? Okay, 28.28. So tama. So 28.28 meters per second. Okay, class. Hindi ko na muna anuhin ito kasi pag nag-square root kasi tayo, ang sagot ay laging dalawa. It's either positive or negative. Kaya lang, ang tinatanong naman kasi is speed. So we will stick with the positive one. Okay? Kasi speed is a scalar quantity. Later, pagdating natin sa free fall, doon tayo magkakaroon ng problema kung positive ba talaga or negative, kung velocity yung pag-uusapan. Pero ngayon, dahil speed lang yung tinatanong, so we'll stick with the positive one. So, ang sagot ay 28.28 meters per second. Okay, kung hindi naman tinatanong kung kilometers per hour, we can stick with this answer. What if i-convert ko? Times 3.6 divided by 1,000. 101. It's around 100 kilometers per hour. Ayan. Okay? Any question? Okay, so the other examples are in the module. So I will leave them to you kasi nakasagot naman sila. Ayan. Okay? So class,